Welcome to Lecture 5, Decision Making in Foreign Policy. Every human being makes decisions all the time, ranging from what to wear, eat, drink, and so on. People have to make choices from among different options. The decisions could be what can be considered as minor, while some are seen as major decisions, including choice of alcohol or course to study, choice of career, spouse, and so on. In this lecture, we shall discuss the process of decision-making in foreign policy. Objectives. At the end of this lecture, you should be able to explain what decision-making is, what are the factors that influence foreign policy decisions, describe the role of non-state actors in foreign policy decision-making. Content. According to James Anderson, decision-making involves the choice of an alternative from among a series of competing alternatives. Decision-making in foreign policy involves the analysis and assessment of past and current data in the light of a country's past experience and that of others who had dealt with similar situations in order to identify the need and available options for actions in the future and the likely implications of each of those options for the protection and promotion of its national interest. In short, decision-making requires skills in evaluating, judging. Foreign policy decision-making refers to the choices individuals, groups, and coalitions make that affect a country's actions on the international stage. Foreign policy decisions are typically characterized by high stakes, enormous uncertainty, and substantial risk. Foreign policy decision-making is an important avenue of research because the way decisions are made can shape the eventual choice. In other words, an actor could arrive at different outcomes depending on the decision process. The course of world politics is shaped by leaders' decisions. The uncertainty involved in foreign policy making can pertain, for example, to an opponent's motives, beliefs, intentions, or calculations. If we can understand how decisions are made, we can better understand and, perhaps more important, predict outcomes in the international arena. The process of decision-making in foreign policy has become more complex than in the past due to the following reasons: the emergence of ethical issues such as human rights, democracy, disarmament, and so on as important components of the political aspect of foreign policy. The greater focus on non-political aspects such as economic, environmental, the new complexities of the security aspect due to the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction and the never-diminishing threat from transnational religious and other terrorist groups and narcotic smuggling gangs to national and regional security. The trend towards greater transnationalization of the decision-making process due to the impact on the process of a country's membership of international and regional organizations. The increasingly assertive role of national and transnational non-state actors such as the non-governmental organizations, NGOs, think tanks, etc., in seeking to influence the process. The insatiable demand from the non-state actors, sections of the public for transparency and accountability. The role of the printed and electronic media and the internet in spreading greater awareness of the database of the process and in providing yardsticks by which the success of the policy formulation and implementation could be judged. The availability of knowledge at the mouse tip has contributed to a greater non-state participation in policy making and implementation and to an instant and ever-continuing scrutiny of policy making. Making foreign policy decisions depend on various factors. These include effective storage of past facts, experience and assessment, and the capability for their rapid retrieval in order to use them for current decision-making. Capability for the collection of current data, open as well as secret. The availability of knowledge of how other countries handled similar or comparable situations and with what results. The quality of the in-house expertise and the availability of external non-state expertise to analyze and assess the relevant data and experience and to identify the available options for the future, and the willingness of the in-house experts to continually seek and use such external expertise. The domestic and the external environment also affect the growth of the non-state expertise has been facilitated by the rapid increase in the number of NGOs and think tanks helped by private funding and the trend towards their transnational networking. Non-state experts enjoy certain advantages over their governmental counterparts, such as the following. They can be more objective in their assessments since they do not have to be politically correct and acceptable. Their assessments are not unduly influenced by purely nationalistic considerations. They are prepared to view a problem in a much broader perspective. Their transnational interactions with one another are generally free of the inhibitions and mental blocks which characterize the interactions of state experts with one another. This enables them to pick the brains of their transnational counterparts much more easily than state experts can do. Factors that can affect decision making. There are a number of factors that affect foreign policy decision making. This includes stress. Stress can be conceptualized as an excess of demand over capacities. It can be induced by the following variables, either alone or in a combination: threats to important values, sleeplessness, anxiety, or severe time pressure. Those involved in political decision making, from executives to intelligence analysts, face these conditions on a daily basis, and in a crisis, these factors may be exacerbated even further and contributed to poor decision processes unless decision makers are careful about getting enough sleep. They may make vital foreign policy decisions under shifting perceptual and mood changes. Time pressure. Another factor closely associated with stress and crisis situations is the presence of the time pressure. This may take the form of a short deadline for a decision, or more likely an uncertain deadline that is believed to necessitate a quick decision. Emotions. Emotions can enter the decision-making process in several ways. At the broadest level, emotions can be divided into two categories: integral and incidental. Integral emotions are those that are clearly related to the decision at hand, whether they are predictions of future emotions or emotions triggered in the heat of the moment. As such, integral emotions are consistent with the rational choice framework and may be thought of as additional elements of a utility calculation. Incidental emotions make up the second broad category of emotions. Although normatively unrelated to the decision at hand, incidental emotions nonetheless affect decision-making in critical and often unappreciated ways. First, relatively stable dispositional attributes. A person's temperament can predispose them to react to a situation in a particular way. Second, emotions unrelated to a current decision can carry over from prior situations even though they are unrelated to the problem at hand. Summary. Foreign policy decision-making refers to the choices individuals, groups, and coalitions make that affect a country's action on the international stage. Making foreign policy decisions depend on various factors. These include effective storage of past facts, experience and assessment, and the capability of their rapid retrieval in order to use them for current decision-making. Capability for the collection of current data, open as well as secret. The availability of knowledge of how other countries handled similar or comparable situations and with what result. The quality of the in-house expertise and the availability of external non-state expertise. The domestic and the external environment. Factors that affect foreign policy decision-making include stress, time pressure, and emotions. End of lecture 5. Thanks for listening.